The stock market's about to open in 15 minutes, and I'm still running this demo. I haven't blown it up yet. And I'm running this indicator, daily bar info. And, oh my God, it's an environment outside. So this is the gray area is last night when Asia started, we created this bar. So we're about to test the low of the day. It looks like the New Zealand dollar is going to blow out the low of the day here. So I put in buy limits down there, and I put the sell limits above. Anything that's going up, anything that's going down, I'm buying. So it's totally inverted. But I can see what the, if you're making new lows at 15 minutes before the bottom of the hour, you're making new lows in the day. You figure there's a crush coming. And this is the, the markets just come up to an edge, and then they move the other way. And sometimes you could expect a spike here. So this is really designed to capture, I think I got about 8 hours of exposure, 6 hours of exposure on buy and sells. So I built the sells to last longer because last night I could have scalped this. I was putting the sell key in there, but it only lasted 15 minutes, so I had to redesign it. But I haven't built a symmetrical system. It really should be symmetrical, or it could be where when you go into a doji, then you throw out limits based on the last ATR. So today's range right now on this currency is about 60, over 50 pips. So I'd say over and under. When you get over 50 pips, then you have to trade with a wider stop. But that's swing trading with wide stops. Now scalping, maybe you have a 12 pip stop to make 24 pips. And that's your, you're in that really tiny world. But right now, this thing looks like the dollar is going to crush through the high of the day. So is there any place to get on this train would have just been trading the breakout of yesterday. But yeah, they could see the dollar was going to go up like crazy here. And against this pair, which I do think is going to the moon, because we're right in the middle of fair value on this thing. And right at the starting gate of this whole drama. So, but not to say that it's not going to go up here to this bottom and then just keep collapsing. There's a bottom in there, right? We're there right now. Like I said in the video, we're there right now. But thing is that who's making on the daily traders are looking at this stuff here Sunday night. So if you just placed a buy stop here, this is why people are able to repackage courses and sell them for $500. I could show somebody trade this one video. If you know how to place an order, you just place your order there, right? Now you're going to say, oh, that made money. Now you can't just do that every time, because if you zoom back here, you'll see all the traps probably made more money than these trend kind of breakout schemes. If I zoom out, and this indicator I set going back like 20 days here. So this is the daily dollar yen. If you had placed, say you had a breakout here, I'm going to just put my order on the high of the day. They trapped you, but you see how it comes back to this doji. So when they crushed through, and they didn't take out the low days, so there's sell stops stacking up in here. So you can see what the daily breakout traders are thinking. Now here they get trapped. They want to get in for another ride down. I don't know. Maybe they make money right here. But if you have sell limits sitting back in here, it's always running interference. Sell limits are here, obviously. Obviously, your scalp pack's sitting up on top of this thing, and it maybe starts at the closing price. So this is your wick. These are your daily wicks here. So these little pockets here, and that is the bottom becoming a top, getting that high. Maybe you're trailing money management's like, oh, we're just going to ride this thing down. Now, I can't drill in to see what this was about, but obviously your buy limits got filled. Something. And if your buy limits got filled here that lasted all week long on your weekly account, so you'd have a monthly swing trading, you'd have to have a swing trading account. I just don't think you can take your, the girl that likes to wear nice clothes to, you just have to have it fit. And this is limits, so I don't have any stops or market orders here. I'm forced to think of trade plans that work with limits. but I want to fit the pips. I want to get the fit right. Now, if I had, say, 3 sell limits and 3 buy limits, it was 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours on the upside, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours on the bottom side. And maybe it's if you have another hotkey available, you just there's no end to it, right? You're buying you're always running out. I'll buy 100 pips deep all day long. So you have this button you press and it just throws an order in there, 100 pips deep. I suppose you could drag it around, but is it really going to matter? You're sitting at the 50-yard line right now. If you want to buy 30 pips deep in the next 4 hours, you've already predefined the momentum that needs to happen for you to fill on that. So if you have, if you drew this trend line, and you're like, yeah, I'm waiting for this thing to come back to my, whatever have you, your Elliott wave, your Gartley, retest this triangle. It doesn't matter, right? It's how big do you get in on that? Where's your stop and all that nonsense? Now, you can wait forever and maybe never get filled on some of these things. Here's another thing, trailing buy limits when they do the stop hunt, because everybody knows this fucker's going up as soon as they see this thing. That creates a price pulse in everybody's mind on their moving averages, everything. So where's the kickback? This is a 1 hour chart, so this big node here, which is perfectly aligned to this, cues right to the stop hunt and this whole thing. You just put a power pack in here. And of course you have buy limits here. You got backup, right, in case you're out of stock. And this thing rips up and you might have just cashed out here, and there was a little trap play here, I suppose. I don't know. Oh no, they just kept crushing through there. And here you would have got killed if you sold in the limits there. But maybe you have a hedge system. This is why people say, oh, the one guy that said you're going to lose doing that strategy breakout. It's really all depends. If it's a really quiet market and it breaks out like this big not to mention this vacuum's forming this whole time, that this big auction and where everything, even the breakout traders that traded this 50 pip day, so it's a 50 pip day, about 55 if you want to get all, actually probably more, because with the spread in there, who knows what the spread was when we went up 50 pip rip. And you could have just had orders that captured this coming back to here. You're out. Trade's over. Bye. See you. Don't need you. And that's how ruthless it is. Like, some of these trades are just like, look at this, buying new lows. How'd that work out? Pretty fucking good, right? I mean, it's about, well, did you have the 25 stops? And since this is a 50 pips per day, if you put up a Gann grid on here, and you just go, well, how many pips a day are we going up at? About 50 pips per day. But we got to sell up here because this is where all the liquidity's at. And I mean, it's like, think of it. If you're a Gartley trader, think of 40 Gartleys up there. This is what a problem. If you did the many Gartleys you'd need for all these orders, then you would just, forget about it, right? You just lose your mind looking at the chart. So if you really are going to sell high, and you're like, this thing's going up, I don't know when it's going to turn around, I'm just going to keep placing orders in there, just blind ambition. Now, it's not to say you can't overtrade anything, but it's just a limit system. Now, since I can't put any stops in here or trade at the market, I'll also keep myself from overtrading it in a way. But I'm just assuming that it could go down. And if it does go down, I'm slightly in on this one, and I haven't hit the profit key. I only hit the profit key one. Now you could hit the profit key and clear all your winners off just before a news event, or if you're not in too big, you'd hold it through news, because as you come up on the news, the markets will come to a assumed like a fair value that could be on the edge of the market. It'd be a fair value that's just, the market just completely comes to a set point, because it's people have gotten out. A lot of people don't trade the news, so there's a whole shift in the mood of the room, or the mood of that currency, and then as soon as the news comes out, we've got 5 minutes till the cash markets open and the stock market opens. So they could turn on a dime right now, or they could crush through the low of the day here on this New Zealand. So I'm prepared to buy this plunge. And this indicator, since I set it to going back like 20 days or something, it's kind of nice because if I delete all objects, it goes away and just leaves today. And if I shift, it'll bring in how many days back. So this is the beginning of this is Sunday of last week. I mean, this is Monday. So you can count the days here easier, at least especially with this broker, because you got Sunday night in here. So this is a great broker for a kind of a real view of the market. And that's slicing the time down so that you don't have to babysit this stuff. So all the sellers up here, everything I'm doing here is automated, but some of it was hand placed. But see the 50-yard line. See how they trap the bulls here. This is a pretty faint trend, but people like it. It's going up, right? Higher highs, higher lows. That's what they say. And so here's the trap trade, and it's like, okay, fair value is probably right about here. It's all about here and lower, because really the ultimate place is to get in here for the trap and then ride it back to here, or get in here and ride it back, get in here all the way down and ride it back. Okay, this guy's screaming north, so this is hell bent on taking out and going for another 50-yard line here. And we're coming right up here, and I'm going to sell into that. So this is set to 2 hours. This one's, I read to set these. This is going to be 4, and this is going to be 6. So I'm just going to sell up into that. Now I'll sell more at the top here for the 6 hours, but if I wait about half an hour, I will get a different price. So if you don't want to overhit this key, so if I just kept slamming this really high sell key that gets in every 25 pips up in this pocket, I would kind of defeat the purpose of, you kind of get pixelation, you lose the resolution. It's like, well, you're stacking up orders, why don't you just put a 2K in there, look at you. So you have to wait maybe every half hour on a half-hour script. So if you're running in front of the market with limits that run a half an hour, then every time you hit that key. And if you're trading 8 pairs, so I had to take these pairs down. I was getting anxiety attacks with all those other pairs, so the spread sucked. Now New Zealand, look, they're going to punch this down. So here I'd get in aggressive, and those people said aggressive on that thing. It cracked me up. We get in aggressive. I'm like, okay, this is aggressive buying. I mean, really, like, you're getting an aggressive, huh? Now here's how much you gonna buy, right? How much you buying? She's an aggressive girl. What do you mean? Well, she bit my leg off. She's rough. That currency pair is rough. This looks like it's going up. Dollar CAD's sneaking away from the pack. Wow, here's the big argument for the breakout on the daily. You got to risk about 100 pips there. Wow, this thing slams around. Here's the smallest day. Here's your quietest day to get in. So I'm just saying that for all intents and purposes, these would be your times where the robot would recognize something that's 60 pips on this currency per day. If you go into a 60 pip day. And so here's the breakout. Everybody's like, woohoo, we're going up. But here was the trap trade. So you had the buy limit sitting down here, and you'd scalp to this floor that you fell through, and you'd take something off the table. Maybe you do let rest of that ride. But it's a lot to manage. Because if you have a fixed pip script, then you're hunting for the currency pair to really maximize the whole idea of it, right? You either start trading bigger, or you diversify into different currency pairs. The same technique applied across the board, and you pretty much know right away whether you're right or wrong here. And I put so many orders in, you have no idea. I mean, probably could blow up the account if everything went wrong. Now, if I stop pressing the buttons at this point, so if you have a day job, you get up in the morning and you're just throwing in these timed grids. It may seem ridiculous at first, but think about it. Like my tequila buddy says, think about it. Okay, so the stock market just opened, so we should see the equity go either. I'm either going to win or lose now. So you just, it's hard to believe that you could just throw orders out there. You have to have a little bit of clue as the ATR, though. That would be the only thing. That, and you would want to look at the chart and say, it's going up, Daddy. So, obviously you can see that it's going up, but then the question is, when's it going to get there? So you're pre-programming your momentum into your script because you put a timestamp on it. And then, it's like your exposure also. You know your exposure every day if you only hit the board. If you hit every button on your board on every currency pair, they were all limit orders, and they were all 25 pips away from the market when you drop them. How much damage could you do? So this is kind of the experiment for that. Now, if I made this symmetrical, and I zipped it down to, say you had 4, you're only allowed to play with 4 toys. You have 4 sell limits and 4 buy limits. But now that you have those 4, you're going to take those and make 1, 2, 3, and 4 hour versions. If you very high frequency trader, or higher frequency than somebody that trades once a day. Now, if you don't want to babysit these fucking markets because it's just so annoying to watch something go, you're like, really, it's going to keep going. So you're in the trade and you're just so pissed, and so why don't you just let Mother Nature have its way with it, and just when you lay out, when something is out there, nature fills the hull. So if you're looking to, this is kind of a retracement. I always think of retracement when I think of getting in really deep and really far away from current price, because you figure you're going to come back to the mean, come back to the center, come back to a rational price. It doesn't always happen. Market can be crushing down, but if you're going to trade it across 8 pairs, maybe you blow up your British pound. Now, there's only one British pound when you trade like this. I guess I duplicated this, sadly, only to make it 8 panels. I guess I should take that out, make it 6 panels so we can see more data. But let's see, I'll take something out of there. No, that's fine. I know I duplicated that, but it just goes. It just shows the go. Yeah, if I took this, another thing psychologically, don't forget. If I scrunch that down, and look at that, I'm like, oh really? If I zoom in, and this one's zoomed out, just a mind bender. You're like, oh, you're getting in here, and isn't that a little bit risky? Your brain just switches. It's the same damn currency, and without even changing time frame, just zooming into that, you're like, oh boy, I'd buy it right here. The hell's right. Now you look at this, you're like, what about all this stuff back here? Well, you can't worry about that. Now, if you have a script that's going to sit here at 100 pips, 150 pips deep all week, I don't know. I guess when the news comes out, NFP, I'd be running grids that are like, I did it on a video years ago. I had 8 pairs running, and I was just throwing these monster grids out there. Now, the only exception there was I kind of was not really serious. It was a demo account, but it was the concept. It's like the first prototype of, hey, let's hook up, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Let's put chocolate on peanut butter. Supposedly, it was a couple people crashed together to create that snack, but which is probably responsible for an untold carnage of diabetics or who knows what. But so this is the kind of trading for dummies, trading for. You have to have some clue here that we just you could see what the daily breakout traders are thinking here, and if they had 2, this is dollar Swiss. If they had 2 tight of a thing, they got killed on this. If they didn't take this profit here to this area, then they got killed. But then if you're looking at the hourly tops bottoms, you see the big pivot thread running through that. We just keep banging on that, and you want to sell on this area here, but you want to sell all the way up into that thing. But you're anticipating what are the daily guys going to do when they come in and this thing's treading water sideways and it's not making any, it's obviously going down. We're coming to this. So here's the breakout, the Asian breakout, but it's just nothing but kind of filling this void here and just taking one more breath before it exhales way down. But you can see, well, they coming after these guys. So here was the scalp, this wick here, and it popped up, and then, oh my God, everybody jumps on the train. But you can see even right here, if you look real close, when they came back up and formed this 2-hour wick, they came right into that bottom. So you're aware that you can see what people are, they're like, oh my God. Not to mention, anybody that rode this thing, their money management bots or them are coming in and placing protection here for whatever have you. You buy here, it goes here, you move to break even. Well, when that sell stops triggered, it's going to fuel this big crush. But you have buy limits hand placed at the edge of the daily. You could have scalped to here, dumped, and reloaded. Now you could have reloaded the next, you could have, having known that this exists, the next day you could have a whole grid of buy limits here to ride to here for the scalp. You have to ride to here for the scalp, and then the rest of it you let go maybe. How'd that trade work out? Pretty darn good. So it's real redneck trading, but this is my now I have to make this symmetrical so there are more, but I'm going to throw this 4 hour, so you also keep track of what how these are going to last. So I'm going to sell that dollar. I think it's overdone, and I'm going to buy the pound on limits down there. I'm already long. I'm really underwater here because what happened was I put in this order last night. I think this is my anger order. It lasts like 4 hours. Buys every 5 pips. Now, when I did that on the New Zealand, that's how I lost about $100 last night. Because it was just too, and some of that wouldn't fill. I had the Singapore dollar, so I pressed the button and it just locked up the whole script. So this is why you want to stay away from, if you're trading, unless you're swing trading this with 100 pip grids and you don't look at this thing but once a week, yeah, you can trade in the Singapore dollar. But I got to make money every day because otherwise I'm just gonna not be able to justify all the doodle all the work. I guess when you go down that road, you're in for a penny, in for a pound. I can't imagine at this point. I mean, even if I was trading demos, I think I mean, I don't understand why these kids, these whining brats, are talking about, well, they're just not, the government's just not giving me enough. Stop playing your fucking video games and trade the fucking market. What the fuck is with these children? I'm glad I don't have a kid, because if he came home, I think I'd just beat him to death. Well, I just don't have enough. Oh my God, I'd set him in front of MT4, go strap him into the chair and tell him, son, if I don't see that account double, it'd be like one of those, we got a Saw movie, strapped to the chair, trading chair. But I would give him foot switches. Like I said, that's another way to go. If you're really addicted to trading, you get foot switches for buy and sell. Or you have maybe sell stops and buy stops on your feet, and you have limit orders on your fingers. I guess I could get my brain around that. It's like having a foot switch for your wah-wah pedal or something. So we're waiting for the, I don't know, there's new news coming out. This is so boring. Oh my God, this is so boring. I'd rather blow up the account. And that's another thing. There's nothing like blowing up an account. This is like, just like a one-night stand, Who doesn't love a one-night stand? You're like, I don't even know her name. What's the name of that broker? We put $100 in there. It's what? I don't know, man. But people are willing to go out and spend, go play. They're into gaming so heavy that I'm like, dude, Well, I guess people are getting paid. I don't know. People have YouTube channels. I guess people are making money. What am I talking about? What do I know? But I guess I don't want to play. I mean, like you could set it and forget. This is a game that plays itself. Let's just say, like the game, you have to be sitting with your finger on the trigger all day. Now I get it that I think I could take some of these gamer kids, and if I get them out of their basement, and I could make them get the foreign guy out of the basement and make them into scalpers because they'd be like, oh yeah, this is fucking yeah. Put them on a tick chart, get them a 6 second chart, get them a dude, I just bought that hammer. I mean, so yeah, but I don't know. People are just afraid of money. Everybody I've met, I stopped asking people on the street. That's why I went to the internet. That's why I went to YouTube because there's nobody to talk to. I told my neighbor across the street when I went there, show home. So, yeah, he didn't even say anything. I just think maybe he's not so bright, but he didn't say anything. And so, and then my other buddy, like I said, my tequila friend, who would trade demos and blow them up and then triple them, and he would walk around drunk and act like he made real money. It was beautiful. But he was like, I wish I could have filmed him because he'd been perfect, like the most extreme, like what's going on in somebody's head, but they can't act out. The euphoria, he had the euphoric, but it was fake money. It was beautiful. Watching him stumble around with a winning spirit. Like he just, like he was like Bruce Jenner after his operation. It's like, wow, I'm triumphant. This is better than the Olympics. Okay, so we're waiting for this thing to go up. I may have overloaded the wagon already, or I want to put these cells up here. And I saw one guy in a chat room says, don't trade while you're drinking. I'm like, why not? Like, if you have a script that would work for you being drunk, and I think the script would be to sell 500 pips above where we're at for the next 15 minutes. That it would be the tequila script. Because what is the chance of that filling? Honestly, let's be realistic. Like this move here. Dollar to the yen. Are you kidding me? This is like 200 pips in one day. Blow your brains out. And I'm sure that the guy that diligently put his sell limits up here, all four of them, he's like, yes. And he had to stop up here. Right? Maybe this is a giant cipher that everybody missed. This is the problem I have with the cipher thing. It's like, okay, if you didn't see the cipher I was seeing, sorry, dude. Like, okay, so if this was, I guess you'd have to really force a bet. This is why you get a wig for your girlfriend, so you think she's a hooker, right? This is how you save her. My tequila buddy did that. I came out of his house one day and I'm like, what is that on the chair? He goes, that's a wig. I go, why? He goes, that's for my wife. And I said, man, really? He goes, yeah, because this is why it's like having a different girl. Same, he's saving a lot of money on gas and picking up another girl. He's a real person. I hope he's not watching the channel. He's a real person. This real thing. This guy's like out of a movie. So, he lives on the other side of town now. We get together very rarely now. No, he's maintaining. I think he's adapted to. I went over there one day. He's drinking wine, and he said it was a better fit because he's Sicilian, so it was a better fit. He was biology, but he's also a chemtrailer, so I really can't have a discussion with him. We just talk about the weather. But yeah, we're waiting for this. Okay, so I don't know if there's news coming out here at the top of the hour. Who cares? Look at him crush this puppy. So they're just punishing these bears right now. They're hunting them down. You're going to hunt them down and kill them. So I just want to go into the kill zone here and sell into that. I can get this count up to like 15,000 here. My goal for the week, you shouldn't make a goal, right? Why not? I mean, if you overshoot the runway, I don't know, goals are tough. I don't think you should have them too specific. How about just not punch anybody today? How about anti-goals? I will not yell at the mailman today. It's a not list, not a to-do list. But yeah, this you could really get carried away trading. Honestly, it's really, especially if you make money. You're like, holy God, and then you always want to make it better, right? So if you were built a, if you're doing something, you just have to go to the next. You're always going to the next thing. What's the next thing? And if you lost money, well, I figured that you either didn't wait for the market to come to you. If you have limits, you didn't wait for the whole thing. And a lot of these empowered people are waiting for entries, just like I am. I don't see why they don't just throw orders out there. The tip of that Gartley, we don't know where the fuck that's going to be, or when it's going to be. So if I place these orders for an exposure of X, and I'm trying to get I was looking for these are kind of linear placed. Like if you just put in sell limits every 20 pips above where we're at right now, 10 of them with a master stop, say with in the last 4 hours. And the ATR right now in this currency for the day is about 60 pips. So if I throw it 60 pips north and duplicate the ATR of today north of me and throw all those orders in, and then if I look down on this account, is it 12? If I'm up $2,000 by 4 o'clock, I'm going to probably get out of this thing. Because if I throw in orders that are every 5 pips deep on a currency pair that when I'm coming to Asia, then you could just lay a bank in there. So if you only pull the trigger 3 times a day, all your 8-hour orders are disappeared, and you're going to recycle the next retrace. You're going to ride through the next swing, or you're going to hand place it like a girl, Like if you told somebody, listen, just keep putting orders down at the bottom of these blocks. People know too much, I think. Like people show people how to trade, I think they tell them too much. They get sidetracked in what they're seeing. But for somebody that's never traded before, you would just tell them, listen, you want to get in at the bottom of these blocks, so place all your orders at the bottom. And they say, well, I didn't get filled there. I'm like, okay, well, it's all right. You're doing fine. And take them down to a smaller time frame, maybe. Or, well, here in the daily chart, you're stuck. This is how this script was written. If you drag it down here, you'd say, well, okay, well, if the block is X width, so if you have this is like a 50, I'd say this is about an 80 pip block. Put in all your orders starting at the bottom block 80 pips down, something like this, to get them in the market. And if you say put them on the edge of here and give them a size every 10 pips, I guess you'd have to at first tell them, look, when you see a 50 pip day, you're going to place buy stops and sell stops. But if it was a limit system only, you might tell them, look, just place your fucking orders down here like a goof. Look at this beautiful triple bottom right on the outside of town, outside of the range. Okay, so here's the other bottom. So you have a cluster in here. You tell them here gets the order, everything from this bottom valley. I would just talk I would tell somebody, if I was going to tell somebody how to do this, I'd just tell them in the most crude terms you could possibly imagine. Saying stuff like MACD, and we're just going to fuck people's heads up, I think. Then they're going to start thinking, well, let me look at that. Well, and then you try to vertically line that up. There's something that it's so hard to Q, like, so where is that in the story of what's really going on in the price? I mean, we all want that magical magic pill. You just hit a button and go. But if you know the risk up front, this strategy works. Now, they might blow this bank out. Look at this thing screaming north. Now, what's going to happen here as we come into the window here? I'm sure the dollar index is just itching to pop some level. Now, if you go to the 4-hour, this indicator is just on the last. This is why people get killed trading. Is look at these. Look at this thing, right? What's going to happen when we come up here? Major house cleaning. So I'm going to try to trade a retracement off these tops. So you do multiple projections. You're never wrong. You're always going to make money because you're selling high and buying low. Now I can make some type of analysis. Yeah, I want to get up in here. Well, but you would naturally want to get up in there because of this top. So we're going to fill this hole, and I'll tell somebody, listen, see this bottom here? We're going to start placing buy limits all the way down there. Look at that perfect bottom becomes a double top, and it wicks back in. Gee, comes here. Crazy. On a 4-hour wicks, you buy the wicks, you sell the wicks. Fuck this confirmation shit. You just put the orders in. Stop it with the confirmation. Okay, give her an AIDS test. I'll give you that. But yeah, go to Europe, right? All the hookers are clean there. Okay, so I'm going to put this is going to be now the ratios in this order I know to be good. The other one that I got clobbered on was my buy every fucking 5 pips with a master stop anger order, which is, so I'm running. Another thing you can do is have keys that you know, okay, listen, this is going to be just fucking A key, and then the other key is okay, this is a logical thing to do, is place orders every 37.5 pips apart for the next week. Looks like we could go down there. I mean, if you listen to anybody's analysis, they're like, well, we could do, yeah, if you could, you should, we could probably this, maybe that. We'll put a maybe order in. Why all this focus on, oh, this, dude, this is, no, this, come on. Did you see the fib handle? I mean, what the fuck is that? So we don't know the extent at which they push the market, but we know that if it goes out of balance too far, we get in the other direction. And if we double the account every, of course, after you double the account and you trade the same size from now on, you'll just be making X, whatever that was. Say you put in $100 and you make, now you're at $200. Now you know you can make $100 a week with that account, and you just let it go. You don't sit there and keep loading the fuck out of it. Go to another account, open another account, do the same thing. This way, you've got something that is going to survive, even, like, it probably won't get many trades, but I just don't think you want to start building one account like that, because it's just, you should let that kid, like as if you had children, you're not going to tell this kid when he's like starting out, listen, you're fucking this up. Like, you just let him go on his path. And maybe you do add size to it, but you don't really want to get too, you don't want to fuck that up. Like if it's working and it's, you know, yeah, so take another account and really get a whole different style going. Stop entry now. Now this thing, all it does is do breakout strategies. Then you go to another account. Okay, I'm going to hand place orders here. You have 3 accounts, say. You have stop entry. Maybe you have a scalping account. You invite some crackhead kid over in the neighborhood and scalp on it. Don't even tell him he's fucking trading. Tell him it's a game. That's my real dream, is to just have somebody trade and be like, oh yeah, it's fake money. Meanwhile, it's real money, right? And no fear for them. Then it's better to find somebody that doesn't know anything about trading, because I'm just saying, when you go out on the internet and you're like, oh my god, really, MACD, okay, I got it. You're like, but dude, where do I get in? Where do I get out? The oldest question in the world: where do I get in? Where do I get out? How big do I get in? And how much do I risk of what I'm in? So if I'm really big, I gotta figure, well, if I keep a linear dollar risk, a mini with a 10 pip stop is the same as a micro with a 100 pip stop. There's a huge spectrum in between those two orders. How are you going to size it, and how are you going to time it? So you have to time the entries, because, you just have to. And if you're going to time it because news is coming out, you're like, oh yeah, I'll buy 500 pips deep for the next 2 hours, then I think that's the way you'd go on that. So this is just an experiment. I'm not saying, oh yeah, the disclaimer is don't mirror my trades and sue me. But it works, like if you don't overdo it. Now, some of this stuff I hand placed right at the 100-yard lines from last week, and you could also probably get another grid on top of here and change the color. Like you have 100 pips. I think I can change and have 2 grids running stacked here, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. It might just cancel out. Sometimes the code just cancels out the other code. And dollar CAD, pulling back into my buy limits here. This looks like a good place to buy. So without overthinking this, and since it is fake money, and I can trade I'm a career drinker. Okay, not that big. This is pretty tame. Look at this thing, very tame. It's a 50 pip grid. This thing is dead in the water. Not much to say here. Australian dollar has really been off the rails here on these moves. And if you're used to trading this thing and you blew up an account here, or you made a bunch of money here on this sell-off, like this is the honeymoon. Like, let's face it, this is the night you met her up here and you took her back to her place, and now the relationship is like, oh my god, both of you are cheating now. You've already moved on to different currency pairs. When this volatility dries up, people are like, really? Oh my god. Now, if you're expecting this kind of move, like down, like, oh, I've seen it. I guess this is your big win. Your big win was here, but look how this was the trap trade. It's a 4-hour chart. This was your, that head and shoulders was, if you call it head and shoulders off the wicks, but it was really about this doji, right dead on at the 50. Premium, low risk entry. You had to wait all week. It was like a Thursday for that. Maybe you are holding this for a, but this consolidation here. You have to resize your strategy to fit. But there's signals in here. There's crossovers, pullbacks. It's not all that bad. So I'd ideally like to be in about half of the margin on this account and just go right to make $5,000 one day. If this thing came plunging and filled all these orders, now maybe news is coming out here in 30 seconds. I don't know. So here's the moment of truth here. And every hour that goes by, it's like a ticking time bomb in these fucking markets. This looks like a beautiful pullback. Right now we're coming back into this top on the 1 hour. They're just taking this thing through the roof today, this pop. I'll sell more up there if they let me place more orders. So that's a setup, forget it. But you really got to let these things cook. So I guess news is out. I'm assuming. Looks like they could smash this euro right through the floor now. You're right up against Friday's lows. Look at that puppy. Oh my god. So I want to buy all the way into that. Since this thing hardly trades, I'm going to put the well, here's a really good ratio order that lasts for about 6 hours there. So I just doubled the order just by hitting that twice. I've already, it's so easy to blow up the account with hotkeys because I could just hit that key again. Now here's the really super deep, but I don't think they're going to fill that. But if they fill that, and if they could drop down there in the next so many hours, you can see this is ripe for the picking down here. It's ripe for the picking. Look at when they come into this thing, you think people aren't going to buy like nuts all into this. So they're already selling the. I'm short the euro against the pound at the 50-yard line right now on another account, and so this is the big vestibule down here, and that's the retracement trader's dream. It comes for me. It comes down here and then it comes back here and cash out. But this is the problem. I bought a 50 pip crush on the anger trade. I loaded up already, so I can't really add too much. Now I have to add stuff further deeper now because let that get stopped out, and then I would come in. And I'm just kind of over trading this just so I can show you what the script looks like. It would be like this. And I just hit a big bank in there because these are all just designed to retrace. So I'd buy a 100 pip range down here right now, real hard. And this I would do the same thing on the other, because if the euro goes down, the dollar Swiss is going up. So I sell this, and this I'm going to buy. New Zealand's trapping everybody on the daily. So see this trap trade here. If you're selling what's right here, you're just laughing right now. So this is where they're going to come into, hopefully, these orders without blowing up the account. And these ones. So I get kind of a little bit impatient sometimes, waiting for the thing to happen, but okay, here comes the yen screaming north now. So here's a moment of truth. We're selling up into this, and the dollar Swiss is crushing into that 4 hour, coming into this zone. I guess this is the exciting part here. So see, set up the dominoes and see where they fall. See how this thing goes down. Now ideally I want to get into about $500 of margin as we come up into these orders. But I haven't really, this is a, like I said, it's a demo. It's kind of hackney. I wouldn't say this is the way you really should do it, but it's like kind of a really, it's like a cake without frosting. It's like you just see how the concept works. Now, if you don't blow up the account, I guess you figure you're doing pretty good because all the orders are just put in there. So I come back here after the bottom of the hour, see where it's at. Okay, well, there's no news today until later on tonight, so we're just waiting for the market to break out here on the upside, go into the top of this. So I made like a Andrews pitchfork here. If it's got a little board, and it's just a channel thing. You're just, but it really is about the price. I mean, it's just there for entertainment purposes only. Here's your down. This is your down rollover. Kind of expecting this thing to come up. Maybe finish out up in here, or maybe even up in there. Who knows? So down 19 bucks. Wait another 15 minutes. Okay, I'm starting to get filled here. I'm down 80 bucks, but I really want to get my margin level to about 1500. If we go smashing up into these sell orders, we should get at least 1,500,000 margin going, and use that 1,500 to make 1,500. Should be able to do that. Here they come. Here come those bulls. Okay. They're beating the hell out of it. They're going to treat it like a rag doll now. Dollar CAD's way up. Dollar's just going through the roof now. I try to sell into this, and I hate when I get stopped out and I'm not in enough margin. Okay, so we laid all the dominoes. Now we're just going to wait for them to hit here. So I guess when it's all about the closing the markets, the news really isn't. The news can give you a lot of pips, but these trades are fine right here. So as London comes to a close here, wait for these to fill. So I'm just gonna let everything that I launched run. I'm gonna get a better price here if I throw in the sell limits above. See, now they're coming into this. So I'm gonna lay another anger trade here. Now I'm really gonna load into this puppy. Fuck them. So I'm gonna sell the yen into this. It's really high. I'm not really trading that. That's where the New Zealand yen's sitting. The EA is sitting on top of that, so I don't really have a. So I'm going to buy this on the plunge. This is a really small ATR, so I can lay this anchor trade in here without too much of a risk. Or this is going to be a better fit. And then I can put these in. Dollar CAD. I'm going to sell into this rally. All the way up that. It's pretty much a retracement strategy. I just go until they won't let me place any more orders. I buy this on every 5 pips for the next few hours. And this one, British pound, going down to this channel. This one I got to space them wider because this thing can really go down. Alright, just got filled on my cells on the CAD for the scalp, and then it's going to be up and down, up and down. So I'm down 60. I'm in $250 of margin. Down $1,500 from 10 grand. And we'll just let it go. Nothing you can do about it now. So look at this guy go. So we're coming up into this zone. I'm just going to load up, sell real hard into that. Huge house cleaning on the north side of this. So try to pick up all these stops as limits. I'm just going to keep laying these in until I run out of tickets that I can place. Sell the dollar. Dollar Swiss, dollar yen, dollar CAD. That's the only dollars you can sell. I'm going to buy this. Going to buy that. I'm going to buy everything else. So we're just going to go complete opposite trades. So I ran out of orders. Okay. So that's I just maxed this account out. I probably put enough in there for I don't know. So here's all my pendings. Just a psychotic amount of orders in there. Whatever they let you put in. All one case. Believe it or not. So I'm up $4. I could hit the I'm not even tracking this thing. This is an order that was from way back. And if you want to keep track of what you dropped, so this one I called retrace, and so if I knew what key this was connected to, that would be another thing that you could keep track of if you have a pencil behind your ear or whatever. It really depends who you are, because you could just sit here and look at the terminal window and say, yeah, get the fuck out, like hit the take profits button. So if your target's to make $10, and if you come into London and all of a sudden the account's at 12,000, okay, so we're taking on some more orders. I'm getting filled on this selling the dollars that goes up. So the dollars are going up against the yen right now real hard. Or I could hit the take profit key and take this winner off. This guy's winning. Let that one go, I guess. You can also over exit. You can over enter, but you can over take profit, not wait for the whole cycle to complete. If you're running out of margin, you would hit the take all profits key and get these winners out of here and let the orders, if you think it's going to keep going the other way, let those guys fill up. Or you've got this terminal running and you're looking at all those pairs, but the problem is if I hit a take all profits key, it's literally going to clear the decks of anything that you're supposed to supposedly let your profits run strategy. So it's you're already conflicted at that point if you're going to trade it in a group. But I'm only doing this for the demo, but it just shows that you would want separate accounts for each currency pair, because if you looked at that pair and you said, you know what, the ride's over, get the fuck out, I don't care how outlandish, give me some dream targets in there, and then that's gone. And the other guys can run independently, but I don't have a close, I don't have an EA or a script that says close this one symbol. There is one that says close all symbols on chart, but I couldn't get it to run, and maybe there's a better version of that out there. I'm sure there is a way to do that. Click on the thing and just say close all for that one chart. So get me out of that currency. All pendings, everything, or all winners. You could do that. You know, if it was real money, you're running out of money, you probably want to just get the hell out of all your winners, reduce your exposure. So let me pull out of all these winners, because I don't have these on my chart, so I really can't trade the Australian dollar right now from the ran out of orders to place. So let me get that out so the orders that I placed can come in. Plus, I'm not looking at these symbols right now, so it's really not giving me that. Should I put an order in based on the ATR look of the market? Let's get down to a reasonable. So I'm down 2 cents here. And I could wait till this thing gets to a certain thing, and I could totally clear off anything and just go back in, because if I have all these pending sells, now I have free margin. I can come in and sell more stuff if I think we're going to keep going up. Just get enough, freed up enough margin and ability to drop orders in these things. So you do have to roll your inventory over. If it's not selling, you got to get rid of it, or you just dump it. So if they crush this down, New Zealand right now, it's itching to go into this giant vault. So this is the strategy, is to sell this dollar all day long and sell this yen all day long. Real heavy up in there. So just for the retracement back down. So that's it. I cleared off about $100 of margin. I think we are going to go higher on these. This dollar's going higher. Most definitely. I wanted the sweet spot up in here, so try to put a dense order pack up there. But we screaming up here for 4 hours. We've been just clearing north here. Here's your top bottom on the 1 hour. Pretty faint, pretty late in the game. The only pullback, the only bearish candle. Well, here's the other one. So if your system put a buy stop on this narrow range, this is only a few pips here. But look at this thing cut through the 50. Here was your entry. If you only had one order you could place, it would have been this double top, becomes a bottom in the middle, the fair range value of the day. Before the breakout, you're in before the breakout. Who couldn't see that coming? Who's not selling up here? So I'm really going to load up here on the sell side since I freed up some tickets. Okay, I guess I ran out. Alright, so I choked it again. So I'll come back here and like 11 o'clock, top of the hour. We just hit a 31-year low in the British pound here just a little bit of time ago. So I was looking at my other account and I saw the market just go berserkoid. Every currency pair went nuts when the British pound took out went for a a fresh low here, 31-year low. So I'm still in this thing. I'm kind of treading water down 1500 now, but my goal is to get in as much margin as possible on these buy limits. So here's the pound, and it's really just, man, out of control here. It's going down. I'm looking at the comment from the last demo that I posted October 4th, which is October 4th now, I guess. And I published it on October 2nd. Oh, it says a 4th in there. Maybe it's, I don't even know. It says a 4th in there. I published it. Huh. I fucked up the date on that. I don't know. Anyways, Daryl asked, we're talking about this British pound. It's going to take out the floor, and I think we could all see this guy going down the tubes and at the 100-yard lines and all that. Now, I had the 50-yard line here. We're down about, we just took out the low of yesterday. But to me, I'm going to just I'm trying to get into $1,000 of margin. So I'm just estimating. I have no idea, actually. Just kind of, I don't want to have to babysit this account, so I just loaded a pile of orders down there. And the dollar yen is off to the races to the north side, and I'm selling up into that, so I have to make it through the day. If I can make it through this day and I'll swing entry on the top of these cells and it comes back, and that's the trade. Yeah, definitely, if you're going to go with the trend now, if you're going to sell into this British pound on the way down, you could have sold, I suppose, a different, on the 1 hour chart, if you're going to zoom out, you could have just got in lughead breakout. Now this could have been a trap here, and I guess they did trap you just for a little bit there. If you look at the wick, you can see that little where they nick the bottom of the day, and then they pull it back up, and you could have got in on limits if you're gonna get in a trap zone here. So this is 50 pips per day here. If you look at the box, that's a day. And this is so I've been searching for formulas to lay these grids in, other than just linear, other than just straight down every 50 pips I buy like an ass clown. I'm trying to make it more like a coefficient factor. So say the ATR is X, then it's going to lay in orders like this with a hard stop. So as you come in here, maybe this is a bigger ticket, this is a bigger ticket, so it's just going to pepper it, say on one button, right? So if you're just going to keep it to one sell and one sell up here and one buy down here, if you look at these coefficient charts, you can see how you'd want the orders to come in. See if I can drag up a coefficient chart up here. So just looking for things that I actually wanted to spit out the numbers off the chart, so I just plug them into the script. Or you can do the this is called the what is it? I can't remember the names of it now. It's trigonometry, but it's where you cut the order in half. So this is a harmonic in music too. So harmonic trading, harmonic music, it doesn't matter. It's just a way to build a script, say, that's getting in. And now if you pick 100 pips as your basis for the script, then you would just take the math out of there, and you would say, well, I'll buy 50 pips down, and then I'll take half of that, and a third, and a fifth, and a sixth, and an eighth. This way you buy the 250s, now you're buying 75, now you're going to buy 89. I don't exactly know the actual numbers. And depending on how, if you're going to have a big fat stop connected to all these orders, then it's really going to look like, I guess I could just do it by hand, where the order bank looks like this. And this stop, if this is the master stop, this is looking to make X. And then you would just take this and bring it down to a situation where you can't even see. The entry looks like this, and the stop is, say, here, and these are scalps outs, right? But if you look at coefficients of just the decay half-life. You go look at half-life charts on the internet. It's all the same thing. Looks like the market. And so you just curve fit. You build a curve of cells to trap this thing, and if you're not overtrading the account. Now I'm doing this on 8 pairs right now, but geez, let's see where we're at here. So I'm trying to get this to fill up about $500 more of margin to fill up on this plunge here. So it's quite a bloodbath today. And look at this thing. Now I also put the projection. What you figure the channel edge of this channel would be on close. So if you drag this to close, and you can see we got ways to go. If you copy this over, so the way to rationalize this entry is to try to get this a little tighter. Put your channel envelope so you're restricting your entry to anything that's within, well, I guess how many pips you want to trade, so it's a diagonal pip here, but this bottom that becomes the launching point where you you want to get this cheapest window in here. So you're going to say, well, all my buy limits are sitting down here for tonight, and you're committed to buy the next 75 pip drop for the retrace. I think the only place to get on the short train here, if you're going to trade at the market and use bottoms become top theory on this drop, if you'd placed your sell limits, I think you can see in hindsight all the trades you missed. If you had sell limits sitting here, you had to have them in the window of the wick, and you just barely got filled on that. Now certainly, when I was just this early breakout here, but what really got things going just a minute ago was when we went through here. Just this new low right here. Every other currency kind of freaked out right here. So it wasn't that long ago. So you go to the 5-minute chart. Overloaded the scripts there, but I typically take an account and I just really try to blow it up. Actually, the demo, and yeah, the guppy. I don't even know. I mean, like I said, this account is not a pristine version abuse of an account because it never started off with any type of Plus, I've changed the scripts already once. So if you're trying to say, well, if you hit all the buttons, it's a ridiculous thing to say. It's like, what if you hit all the buttons in the elevator in a building? You're going to stop at every floor. Yeah, of course, more chance to meet a hot chick, though, right? So you're gonna hit every floor. Like, I'm just a kid lost on the elevator. So this is like just elevator trading. And there's not enough screen here to put up vertically, but if you can imagine if you just put these all vertically. So yeah, it's pretty outlandish. I'm swing trading it. I'm just going to try to get through this window here, and if it gets into about $500 of margin, I can make 1,000 off my 500. It'll take me to 9,500. I'll be down 500 in the account. But this cannot be your only focus. You have to have another account. If this guy has to go out, you have to let this thing happen and then see, well, if I let it go, you can write down like, I should have got out of that. Well, next time you'd be like, you know what, I'm just besides all of these orders, I have no idea what they all add up to risk-wise. But yeah, if you wanted to get a sell, you'd start off with a one sell limit, one buy limit. If you hit that button and threw out a spread, 80 pips above, 80 pips below, one button just objectively throws out, based on ATR only, a script that has a certain width to it, a certain bandwidth. You're trying to net fish, and all of a sudden the river got wide, so you have to increase your net width. But you can't afford to buy a bunch of nets. Each net is costing you a stop loss, and hopefully it's going to just crack off the edge. Like if it does go in a breakout plunge. Now it's kind of how you got in that thing. If you got in on stops and you were willing to take the first 50 clean, it's very fast move. It's fast money. Breakout trading, I'd have to say, is really got to be more exciting in a way because the market's dead in the water and all of a sudden, boom. Whereas when the market's screaming in one direction, you're really a bullfighter. You're standing out here going, okay, bitch, come on, come on. And so you're like, you have enough dry powder so that you're like, oh, I know, yeah, I know it's going to, like, if you're going to do that, I'm not trading any stops right now in this account, so, and luckily the broker's not letting me put in any more orders in, so less likely to blow the thing up. But that's good too, because I typically take one account and one currency and I scalp on that one instrument. So I can scalp it or I could swing trade it. I can see what's going. I'm like, oh, here we go, right? So if it's like, oh, here we go, and I miss the train, well, where's the train going to stop next? It's probably going to stop at a 25 or 50 round number. But even if it doesn't, what if it just goes up 50 pips like a scatterbrain crack whore and then bounces off the ceiling and she's like, well, I don't know, when's the go to eat or something? Okay, so that's what the market is. The market's just a complete bunch of insanity. But if you just have your now this is like I said, not the perfect way to do it, but like I'm not gonna really worry about it too much. I mean, experimental. It's too bad you couldn't have done this in the old days. I think you just had to trade with real money back in the old days because, of course, it kind of made you, you get the winning euphoria and losing euphoria. I suppose it's both euphoria. I mean, I guess your brain doesn't really, your brain just needs some entertainment. I guess like one of these people in these on TV or whatever. People are in the music business or whatever. That's how they're paying their rent. Look at this thing. This is the New Zealand dollar ready to blow out. Get crushed by the dollar, fall through a floor here and go into no man's land. So right up against the trend line here. This stuff takes forever. We're actually, I'd say, still in an uptrend on this daily. But if you wanted to buy at this line, you're going to wait forever for that fill. Look at this torture. This is 100 pip range trap, 50 pip trap. Been going on quite a while here. It looks kind of overemphasized because this thing's painting a. It's blocking off the days. Yeah, so it's going to take a while for this to happen. Dollar CAD's still going up. Okay, if it gets into $1,000 a margin, then we'll be having some fun. It looks like we're going to try to even go lower right now. So there's at least another, before the U.S. bond market closes, there's a good hour, 2.5 hours here. So we can keep coming down, and I would say this is going to be a moment of truth right now because this floor here on the 15-minute, the sellers should hold it. That should be the triple bottom just became a top. Now it's getting too quiet. I think I would put in some buy stops on this, but I'm not running buy stops. I'm already long on my anger entry here, where I just laid orders in. So fuck it. Okay. Because the trick is to get this margin filled up and not blow up the account on a small account. If I get this account to 20 grand, then I would just trade it really lightly and retire it and break out a new account. So you can just, you start a restaurant, you leave it one behind, and then you go get another restaurant. You don't just open, you don't just clone that immediately because who the fuck, people don't know who the fuck you are, and you just spend all that money on a bunch of new buildings. I'm surprised Starbucks has the money. I guess people use low interest loans. You get low interest loans. Starbucks, you go in there, they redecorated the whole thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, people, like, just lower the price of the coffee. But I only go there in an emergency, so when it's strung out, I go to Starbucks. Have to hook up there. Show up with a tourniquet in my arm. It's better to I do espresso though with distilled water because you don't want to get any. But yeah, this is something else. So this is, I guess, kind of historical, and people will make all sorts of news about. Well, look, it went down because the. No, it just went down because it fell in a hole, and look at this. People don't know what it's worth now, so it's just going to keep tanking here. So let's see if I can't fill this thing up. Probably get about $7,500 when this fills. If I take the heat of this whole order bank, and I don't really know how much I laid in here. It's not letting me put any more in. But look at this reaction on the euro dollar. This is why it wouldn't have mattered. See, if you traded the euro with a little tighter script, look at all this nonsense. So how are you going to tell me that's not a good trade to just buy because it dropped? If you had the right, spread of orders in there. That's why I think the coefficient, say, if this is 50 pips, and I don't know if anybody's a math whiz out there, but I mean, whatever the this range is here, you would go to a order bank that would look like this, buys just like this, how it is in like this. And if I haven't got stopped out of something, or maybe this is the problem is I have the take profits turned on. So you strip this down the way it really should be. It looked like this. Turn off the colors for the exits, which is the stops. So it's entry only. Now this is another thing that I think I've done every variation I could. Like you get an enter screen and an exit screen. So this is where you get in, or this is where you're going to get in, and the other one is where you're going to get out and take profits. So here's all my sells I put up here, which I think I hand placed those last week at the 100-yard lines. So there's a cluster up here at 115 even. Like I don't think we're going up there today, euro dollar, but I just did it in the very last video as like a, if you were waiting 3 days to get in on a 5-day move. Okay, here comes the dollar. Here we go. We're going to find out now. Dollar going through the roof right now. Across the board, at least on dollar CAD. So here we go. So we should get down to about $7,500 on this balance. I guess I overloaded it. So, yeah, I'll just, that's going to freeze now, so I'll pause and come back. So the New Zealand dollar is going through the floor now. Let's see. Go to, about to take, so here's the crush. This is also the trap. So they're going to blow this out. See, I get the, I'm guessing I might get down to about 70. I'm going to lose about $1,000 here going into this plunge to fill up my margin. And depending how wide I put my stops in, I would just be adding into this plunge for this one account. Now this is just one account, one strategy. This way, you can say, oh, you know what, that didn't work. If you commingle strategies on one account, how are you going to know what the fuck you fucked up? Okay, we're getting a huge rally in dollar yen here. Coming all the way up into this zone. So I just got stopped out of something. $30 in margin gone. Top of the hour's coming. This is a big drama moment. So bond market's closing. Dollar is ripping people's heads off right now today. I guess it depends how much money you have. Now, if this was $800 or $80, it wouldn't matter. I don't think it would matter how you live your life. I guess if you were looking right now at $8,000 of real money and you told people, well, how's it going today? Well, I don't know, it's just about $240 right now. But this is just what it's like when you just are lazy. Like, I could wait for a better price, I suppose. But okay, now I'm in the sweet spot. I got the same amount of margin back. This next 10 minutes will be critical to whether or not we can get back to $10,000. This should be very quick though. We should find out in 10 minutes what the story is. This should be pretty vicious. We're pushing up on this window. Dollar's going berserk. They said on the news that George Soros was going to airdrop bitcoins on Britain to try to bail them out. So this is the moment of truth. We fill this thing with we have $1,500 of margin working for us on this plunge. It's $7,500. That's my estimation for the amount of drawdown there's going to be to fill up all these pre-programmed tickets. And I think I've been locked out of adding any more because I put them in for like 8 hours and stuff. But I got the cable guys coming, so I have to babysit his monkeying with my data feed. And I have to pick his brain to pieces too, so I think I can invite him over, just set him up so I could ask him what the fuck is with this internet. Last guy that came out here from AT&T to try to give me DSL, he about died from bee stings. I sent him down the street to check my connection. I felt bad. He came back. I was like, "Oh, what do you got there?" He goes, "I was up on the pole and it was like 98 degrees out in the sky. I thought he was going to have a heart attack, and I thought, if I got to drive this guy to the hospital, I'm just taking it off my bill." And then I never heard. And then the DSL AT&T just kept chasing me down. They wouldn't let me go. They kept rebilling me for stuff already paid. "Oh, our mistake." I'm like, wow, you guys are just AT&T. My God, that's like dealing with the government. I mean, you think it's hard to deal with this other stuff? Oh my God, forget about it. Okay, here we go. Look at this puppy. 10 minutes, what I tell you. So we're going to get to maybe $500 of margin, I estimate, here if we're lucky. Okay, I'm holding 83. I'm down 1,700. I'm going to have to break out a beer or something. I was just really not happy about being down on this account. It's Miller time. I got post-traumatic blow-up account syndrome. Christ, I think the cable guy's here. Okay, so here's the we got 4 minutes before the top of the hour. This is like, there's no news. It's nothing but prices being pushed historically. I love how people make the news out to be such a big deal when some of these moves here, the hell's no news until tonight and out of Australia. Now I'm just kind of throwing orders in here like a pig, but if you really focused your brain a little bit and said, I'm going to buy this, you committed to some plunge retrace strategy and just had a retracement broker, and then you have your, I would say the brokers that have a bad spread, you don't donate that to limit order strategies. Brokers that have a tight spread, you would scalp on, and you would do your stop entries with scalps built into the stop entry, or maybe, yeah, I would say volatility setups just look different. I mean, they're dead in the water entries. But the ratio, I mean, in other words, you have tight stops based on the fact that it is dead in the water. These limit orders, you grid trade this thing from like, okay, I'm buying every 100 pips it drops, I don't care. But, you know, if that's out there capturing and just picking up money, this is like owning vending machines. If you put a vending machine on the corner, maybe not a lot of people come there, but you're not having to restock it a lot either, right? You come in, or maybe you're doing a GPS monitoring of a vending machine. You know, that's something that you're kind of really doing, but with a trading account instead. Now, you could still have your scalping account and your stock. You know, you have an oil account, you have a whatever, but I don't know, just this unified one account thing I think is, but how do you know your broker's not going to go out of business? You know, Blackstone or whatever, these big fancy names, and people just end up going out. You know, they're gone. So what's the point? So no, you can't trust. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I mean, what happened to that one? So there's a bunch of contradicting approaches people come up with. Look at this thing. Look at this puppy. I tell you, holy shit. So still cutting through, not even done with the day. Still going north. There's no chance you can get on this thing hardly. Last place you could have got on here, they wouldn't even fill your limits. If you put a buy limit on, here's your last chance to get in here. If you didn't have a buy limit on the double top on the 15, that's why you have to go down here for your entry. You know, this thing's it's gone. It's gone. Totally gone. Look at this thing, can't chase it now. I wouldn't want to be. I guess, you know. Yeah, that's why you have to have you got to be scalping on some of these things as it goes along. So those are all cells up there. But really, this thing's pissed off. And here's where coming up on the trend line right now. You're there, right? You just broke through it. Huge excitement there. For all the trend line breaking. There's a trend line going way back. So yeah, this thing's huge. Wave 4. If you think that this is going, you know, this is just, we're there, going through it, cutting through. It's over. Now the sellers, all my sells are before even getting to this. So if you look at the daily, you're like, you got to be kidding. Well, not really, because I'll sell this whole 100 pip window up here for the scalp. You know, based on the fact that I don't think it's going to go there in a straight line. So without blowing up the account, we want to get in as much as we can on these retracements on this one account. And look at this thing. It's boring. There's nothing going on here. This thing is going to sit here for a long time. I know that button I hit there. Now all this stuff on the north side is all hand placed. But I think those are great trades sell up there. I just wouldn't think it wouldn't really matter. But yeah, this thing's in the weekly. It's out of control. Look at this wedge. My God, this whole year. But this was the breakout pullback. So if you're going to trade breakout pullback entry, that's it on the weekly close. Pulls back. And you get the perfect triple bottom. This would be the, if you think this is a shoulder, head, shoulder, and this is your first trend line you can draw. And since the volatility's dried up, and they're just queuing this thing up to kick it up a little bit. Look at this triangle back here. Wow. Man, there's some kind of crazy reckoning there. But I'm just scalping it. I don't want to be around for these long. I would just want to trade this trade right here. Come up and capture this, and then it goes down. You start buying here. You're long. You cash out of most of it here. The rest you let ride into the next sell bank. Then it comes back. I didn't even drop the buy limits are sitting here, but these are from last Friday. I put these in, so all these are sitting down here to capture a swing back. So I got out of something here and must have got stopped out. No, not in enough margin right now to make money. So here's the problem, the balance point between how much are you in enough, the size, you want to double the account with the smallest amount of money possible. So you know your system works on a small scale, and then of course I would say to be conservative at that point. Once the account gets say you risk 50% of the account, 20% of the account on a psycho trade. Now the account's doubled. Now you would back it down to say risk 20%, whatever, and then keep dropping that number so that when the account's like 10 grand, maybe you're risking, 0.01% per ticket, and you throw a basket of tickets out there, and it's very hard to blow up the account at that point. We just get frustrated, right? Now you got 10 accounts like that, and one account's to pay your electric bill, one's to pay for your hookers, so you have different, this is when you compartmentalize. And in other words, if you know how to play poker, it doesn't matter whether you're playing in Vegas or Europe, but you have all these different casinos that you can go to. And this way, you're off the hook. You don't have to, you're in something. So I think that one account is an all or nothing kind of setup for your brain a little bit. And if you test a demo strategy real time, and you say, I'm going to test next week, I'm going to do this strategy. No back testing. Fuck bad testing. Just test it on the week. Go, hey, did pretty good. Okay. That seems to work. Now you can go back and pick apart what you did. But you already know when you hit a button, if you've automated it, what that button costs you for that idea. So each idea costs a certain amount of money. So you put up your storyboard, and you, like Disney had storyboards, and all your scripts are storyboards, and you don't know how if it's going to be a hammer story or it's going to be a bullshit golfing story. But if you got the script for that move, for that play, and you drop it, and you go, okay, that's how that goes. I mean, we're in that phase of the market where we're just going off the rails today. So how long would this dollar keep smashing up today? I guess that's the only excitement there's left in this damn thing. Okay, so I'm still maintaining $200 here. 501 leverage, I think, or 401 leverage here. Okay. This is Sunday night. We doubled the ATR of yesterday. There's people selling into this, I'm sure, right now. Go to the 15 minute. That would be your head. And this would be your shoulder. You just have to make that claim right now that you're selling up here. And then waiting for another shoulder. And you want to get in here. You want to sell the top. You want to pick the top, actually. So when people say, you can't pick the top, you have to. How else are you going to sell high? So maybe the top's higher, but you're picking it. You just pick it with an order. I guess it's a matter of, but yeah, see the doji retest happened, but not the top back here. The scalpers would probably get out here, and you can get in again. So when the thing starts to get drifty, you got to break out your tighter orders. And maybe you do get picked up on some buy stops here. Now, if you're trading with a composite order, so I had a combination script. Inside that thing, there's a category called combination scripts, and that would be like when you press a button, it buys at the market at 1K. It puts a buy stop here, 3 pips above. It puts a buy limit 3 pips below. They're all 1Ks. You're in a 3K, and you got a master stop. Now the whole order is biased to really make double your money off each of these, say. And that's what that would look like. And this is all connected together. This master stop. These are all wired together. I don't know, that's probably not a really good drawing, is it? Dramatic. So you buy, say, the old 0.01. I ran out of space there. And then it's going to buy 5 pips below on a limit, and it's going to buy 5 pips above on a stop. But you're in here, and you're already in 1/3 of your position, and your stop's down here. And these are connected to the stop. And then this is going to be, say, double your money to here. This one doubles the money to here. And this one maybe does better than double the money. But it has to double the money off this stop. So yeah, it has to be way up here. So these all sprawl out and double your money mode. Because you have to take this difference and double that. So I would say if you had been babysitting this on the 15-minute, you would have hit it here. But what if you had just a bunch of hand-placed orders here with a stop, say, back here, and your first target's here, and you're out of 50% of your position by here, and you've bet quite a bit of money on that. You're doing pretty good. This top, when we pull back into this, you may not have got your fill there. But how long is this going to go on? So this is, I gotta go off and pick this guy's brain in about an hour when he comes over here. This cable guy. Okay, so I'm short. I wish I was shorter on that. My take profits are right here. I didn't move those, so that's pre-written. That's kind of a scalp on the top. And I guess we're going to have to wait for the bond market to close. And maybe I'll be at 8,500. So I've really been selling into this pretty hard. So this one looks like it played out. Now look how harsh this top was. So this might have gotten out of this trade already. Look at how vicious. Now look at the abuse of price here. You know, just because this is the dollar against the Swiss, look at this top. Look at this brutal filling on the north side. And then ripping back. This is what I'm talking about. If you put your sell limits up here, how'd you do today? I mean, we've been down here after that fill. We came all the way back to this top. Are you kidding me? No, look at that. Amazing. Selling right at the edge of that. They tripped all those stops. Look at the 4 hour. Now, if you really loaded up on that trade, you just made 50. You just made 75 pips and under. Look at that. So you made 50 pips and under like a half hour or something. Okay. So I'd like if I had this order bank in here, which I don't know if I did. Would this order bank have made money there? Yes, because I think the stop is down at the last ball. And here's the other order. That is really good ratios on this one, but it doesn't buy as dense. It's not as dense of a grid. So the density of these grids is the difference between you looking like a genius and blowing up the account. But to start off with a hand-placed order, single drops because you know you really you can set up this entry. Now look at this tag off of this top, and this is the only top that you could hang on the 5-minute chart, and it's way more trading on the 5-minute, but look at this entry. That's the premium. I don't know if the spreads were wide there. This is probably after we trapped all these bulls up here. So if you trap traded that, you're selling up into this, you're holding through the breakout of this floor here. And they took this floor out. You're like, wow. Now you could have been buying it for everything from here all the way down to here, or you just bought there. But you know, this kind of, if you don't know how far they're going to scoop into that, and now look at top becomes bottom. Now we probably are going to really drift up, or you know, maybe we really do go up now. This has been quite a day here on the kind of the reckoning. And New Zealand's still going through the floor here, so I'm getting filled. I'm about to get filled more. So it's like I'm just waiting for the market to make its move. So I placed all the chips on the table, all the dominoes, and you just walk away and you see what happens. So I'm still waiting to get filled on some sells on some other stuff. And of course, if it doesn't happen, I don't have any buy stops here, but if it didn't happen when I wanted it to, I would put buy stops in and go into volatility strategy mode. But when you commingle them, the problem there is that just for myself, speaking for myself, it's easy to overtrade it because now you aren't, treating each child you have with what it needs. Like if you have an autistic kid, right, you're just not going to set him up for bad situations. But then some of that you have no control over. So also, I guess you have to realize you don't have any control. You don't take any responsibility for if your kids end up being mass murderers, right? We don't want to. I would just blame it on the mom. That's why you want to. That's why you don't want to make test tube babies. You don't want to clone yourself because then you'd have to blame yourself, right? You don't want to clone yourself. You want to find a girl to blame it on. Okay. Yeah, this is really something else. So, the dollar crush, total dollar crush. I guess we'll come back here after the cable guy. So this guy Dave, who I guess owns a guitar company. So he's, I guess he likes my rant here, but yeah, I just really do like trading, I guess. Unfortunately for some of my early losses. But I do think it's hard to have money in your account that you're not trading. And that's why I really am a big fan of this spread the wealth there. And you'd be surprised how much money you can make from swing trading, small amounts, small positions. So this is really, I guess, a swing trading account in the end. But yeah, it's going to be tomorrow is typically Wednesdays are this big. I don't know. I can't say this is one of these for certain rules, but take a look at the Wednesday behavior, and you'll see a giant wicks where the market really goes in extreme on Wednesday, and I just think it's because of the swaps are coming on Thursday, and it's almost like the Forex market closes on Wednesday in a lot of ways because it's the middle of the session too. And if you look at a daily chart, you'll see that in the middle of the session it's kind of a turnaround. I mean, I can't say it's a hard and fast rule. I wouldn't want to build a trading system on that. But, the market just kind of dicks around, and then, middle of the day, everybody's like, okay, let's go the other way. I mean, that's ridiculous. People are like, what were you thinking selling it? What were you thinking buying that thing like that? Were you nuts? And so the market has seller's remorse or buyer's remorse, and then you have a retracement. Midday retracement. I mean, I wouldn't say I would build a system around it, but, those pivots people talk about, floor pivots and all that nonsense, you can see them here on the 1 hour chart. On the New Zealand dollar, if you just look right here, this top, this is the intraday high, becomes later on a big deal. All the time it's a big deal, straight across. So if you're selling the window above that, and whatever the R1, R2, R3, I think that's just really ridiculous for me. I want to see it like a child would see it, like building blocks. And you really, you know this is resistance up here, and you know this is support. Well, until today. Today we rewrote the book on that. Put my hyper drama giant tool in here. So this is this window here is a big deal. So this zone touches on the double, and they've trapped these guys on the daily. This is what Akil Stokes was talking about. Oh, I got to trade those inside bars more often. Yeah, I mean, because you're just breakout trading. Let's go with the flow here. This guy put in this comment here that he sold that thing. Yeah, no kidding. And the thing is that, but always keep your eye over your shoulder, because Not that this is, this might keep breaking down, actually. So this could be one of those breakouts where you go, see, that's the exception that proves the rule. But if you pre-program all your risks, then there's a guy, I saw him do a video that I liked. It was pretty cool. He was quite content to make money. He says, I'm a professional trader and I'm just making money. Now, this kind of shoot for the home run view of the world. I guess so. I mean, I think that's what they built this Gartley thing around. This advanced patterns because, right, who doesn't want the turbo? Like, you've got the regular car, you want the turbo. And maybe it's just a guy thing. If you have a wife and she's driving a car that has some high-end engine in there, I don't think she cares, right? She just wants to get groceries. But a guy would say, well, let me see the, what's this? And then see what the performance is on this thing. So I guess does we over-optimize the system? I'm not going to, so I can't enter any more orders on this thing. Here comes the British pound on the 5 minute. If they trapped anybody. So I'm always scanning the market to see how people are doing here. See who's getting raped. Okay, so they got these 5 minute traders trapped below this floor line here. So if you put in this line and then walk away, come back, and this would be your line in the sand, so to speak, that everybody's aware of. There's no secret. So we've got to hold below that and keep tanking the rest of the day. And I'd say, looks like it's over. So this guy in the comments section said, we draw a trend line at close. Now, as the day goes on, so here's a wedge down here, but this could just keep tanking. I would come up here on this half hour and say I can connect these 4 tops, and I'd use that as my channel. I build a channel off that, and then build an Andrews pitchfork off that, and then I would build the bullish failure. So here's where everybody's banking on this. It doesn't hold. It becomes resistance in momentum. So copy this. This is a valid rollover for this, the way this market behaves, whatever. See, this is with hope for the bulls. Hope the bulls are going to hold this. They hoped they was going to hold that. Now this is becoming possibly resistance. This last hope. So you build this kind of cat's cradle thing. Just keep copying it over. And then you have to speculate, well, what if it keeps dropping? Will it ricochet off of this? This is just to entertain yourself while you're waiting for the market to possibly retrace. And then you can draw this, the steepest line. Did you just break out and pull back to that? Are we there now? Conservatively, you would draw, you're waiting for this trend line to break, maybe to get in. Okay, so this is quite the trap down here possibly, and here is the soft trend line we're looking to break. Can we weasel up here, half-hour chart? Can we just crawl back out of this punishment zone? And you got to believe that there's going to be a reckoning here, and people are going to buy stuff. I'm ready to buy that tube amp, that mono block with the B300 tube in it. So here's your Gartleyness, right? But it's Gartley upon Gartley. And here's your down channel. Wow, it didn't turn out. This week started out kind of wicked. So here's the breakdown. It all started back here, and you can track the collapse of this on the 30 minute. This was the bottom that was supposed to hold, and the sellers tried to come in here. They poked it back up into this. So here was the bottom. If you go and do the checklist here to see how this all unfolded. You're looking at this doji as being the spot, and so here's your support. They trap the bears on a breakout, and they rip them all the way back into here. Then the bulls are like, okay, we're going up, I'm buying here, I'm loading the wagon, we're forming a triangle. If you had buy stops here, you never got filled. Now this is the nice thing about confirmation entries, that you're never going to fill on that. You're going to hold on your equity. Whereas if you put in sell stops here with a protection here, you never got stopped out, and you could have entered on limits on this point here. But I think after this collapse here, you're just kind of chasing it, unless you're willing to put in a volatility bot here that gets in on the pause, and he just goes either way. Maybe gets trapped on here because maybe you are going to get. So there's always a fork in the road. Every time it pauses, it could either rip back to here or down here. I don't think there's a guarantee that how it's going to resolve the breakout. But the fact that it is going to break out, that it's the strategy in itself that makes it a winner. I mean, it's the conditions that make it a winner for that strategy. So if you have a stop bot that's monitoring the half hour, he's trading for you based on volatility. He doesn't really see the structure. He's just putting in sell stops, Or you can do it yourself. You just keep nailing a sell stop, and then every half hour disappears, and you finally get filled here after hitting that button for fucking 2 hours, right? So I guess it's, if you had a stop bot EA with a fixed thing, right, you got to give that you have to run layered EAs. So you have to have stop entry EA, and that can't be hard to write. Put a sell stop on the last low, or put a sell stop, run a trailing sell stop. Just run me a trailing 5 pip sell stop every half hour, cancel replace, every half hour, cancel replace. There's got to be an EA for that. But you're going to run that one EA on this one account, and then in that same account with the same currency pair, you're going to run another EA with a different magic number so it doesn't conflict with the other EA, and you're going to set a completely different ratio on that. So you have to have 10 EAs running. Well, I would have to have at least 3 EAs running where I'm scalping, I'm intermediate scalping, and I'm swing trading. And I know that this thing is running. I don't have to press a button. So when people ask me, you got an EA for that, that's the only thing I can suggest, because how in the fuck, right? And what if the only other workaround is you could write a script that has a half hour, and you can go to mouse bot. You can get a mouse bot that keeps on on a time clock. It just keeps launching it. So if you do that, you have to dedicate the whole computer to that, because it's going to take over your mouse, and it's going to go to that platform, and it's maybe going to go to 8 platforms. You could have 8 platforms on a virtual desktop on one computer, and the mouse bot's going to go out, and it's going to double click a half hour stop, sell stop, and maybe puts a it's just running a sell stop there. And if I guess you'd have to it'd be very difficult, because you'd have to decide what the ATR is for that EA. So the EA would need a filter. That's why I wouldn't trade with it. I would just trade it manually. Or I just sell into limits on this, right? You don't have to have this magical bot running behind you. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. But here it looks like just huge accumulation going on here. A lot of zigzags. So you got an hour and a half before the bonds close. Well, here comes that dollar yen off the top here. So This would be the head. You'd sell the head, and people are covering at the shoulder right now. The scalpers are, and it's really running out of gas here and getting slow. A lot of spikes on every currency, and when you see the dollar back off, it's like it's not backing off this New Zealand. So New Zealand's going through the floor, but still waiting to get filled on this. Your last chance to sell was here on the 5-minute, last top bottom, but I think it's getting a little long in the tooth. So if you're selling right here, man, your entry was there, but look at that wick. So if you're biased to the sell side, you could just have a script that everything's biased to have a 12 pip stop to make 38 pips, and there's 8 orders in there, some are stops, some are limits, some at the market. We're looking for this big breakdown now, coming into the lows from it's about to go nuts here, downside. Huge dollar strength still, hour and a half. I'm only making money on this yen, so I think I'm out of this yen trade, but I'm gonna sell more up here later. So I'm going to put these sells in case we go up tonight. Dollar Swiss. I guess this is the big story. New Zealand going through the floor. Big crush. Look at this launching pad back here. So I'm going to buy this whole sell off. Got 3 minutes before the top of the hour. I just went to my gold chart. Down 38 bucks here in gold. And you kind of knew this was going to happen. They've been trying so hard, and all these doomsdayers, so cute. Buy gold, buy gold. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, why would you be like not surprised we're going to pull back here? So they trapped all these people in the monthly. Look at this wick. Well, they didn't quite trap that wick, but look at this area. It's an uptrend on the monthly, but you're going to buy in pullbacks now. Double top trap. Down 3% on gold here. Look at the day. Rip your face off. 5-minute. You could scalp this if you got the right script ready. Your only chance to get short on this Akanashi bot is to get in here. Like if you programmed it for a color shift, you would have shorted here, and here you would have get your ass kicked. But this is why if you are waiting for that to turn color, you could buy the pullbacks to here maybe. Nice deep discount on gold there. Down about 40 bucks a little while ago. And half hour train. Wow. Obliteration. I can't wait to hear what all the gold bugs are going to say. They're manipulating the market. That's why they call it a market? That is so adorable that you think. But see, what did it really do? There was a big vacuum forming, and nature doesn't like a vacuum, so what did it do? It filled it. It filled this big void down here. Goes back 3 months. And it couldn't get the party started. It couldn't break this trend line. Got to the, gets too narrow. Something's going to give. Something's got to give. Uh-oh. See you, bye. Now, you could have traded the breakout here, but, you still be risking something. Or you got short on this trend line. You just kept selling off this trend line, waiting for the big payoff. And, he almost got it here. They flirted with that support area. But, yeah, who's not buying here and below here now? So if you do want to buy gold, I'd say tomorrow, probably get some follow through here. I'd jump in and buy a little bit if you're a gold bug. Now, it's 1 minute before the top of the hour. 15-minute chart on gold. Still getting crushed. Looks like they're gonna maybe crush it one more time now, because the dollar is still climbing here on the dollar. Quite ruckus. There's a little cage I built on the British pound. It's got to hold on to this retracement. It's the low of the day. 1 hour of the bond market left. Okay, it's been about 12 hours now. I still haven't gotten the amount of margin involvement that I want here. And this is all the stuff I drew from yesterday. The so here's the big cage I drew down here, but it's really about new lows. So I'm buying the new lows. And look how it went up against my resistance line. So I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. So I'm just going to delete all this garbage. But you can make all these projections and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous. You get really carried away with that. I'll just take that off. So this is the British pound breaking out into new lows. Just a buying opportunity for me. So I wanted this to plunge down and get into about $1,200 a margin. And same thing with the New Zealand dollar. But it didn't happen. It did go lower, so I got a little fill here. So I'm going to ride that out. That's the Australian dollar, and it's making new lows. But this is usually what you get on a Wednesday. You get new lows. You get a real reversal day on Wednesdays. So I'm down $2,000 from my original $10,000 balance here, but I really wanted to be in about $1,000 a margin, or at least $500 at this point. But that didn't quite work out. I certainly have the orders down here. I just kept in laying some more this morning. Looking to get in at the lows. Trying to find those lows. I got plenty stacked up here for the next 3 hours to get in on New Zealand. This is the one that the power trading people say is going to go up. I'd say they should start buying it now then. That's the breakout. Find resistance on the daily. So we just wait. Okay, so bottom of the hour is coming, and here's the moment of truth. Can we, if it gets to the low of the yesterday and pauses and then engulfs, so you want to ride the engulf here, because that's the retrace for this. So this is just really long. Swing trades take a long time. This isn't really scalping. So I haven't gotten out of any winners yet, if there was any. I'm just kind of like a riding storm out here, like REO Speedwagon. And it's just one of those things. Can't really force anything to happen. But the euro dollar is coming back and off. I don't have the euro versus the pound in here. Probably should fill out the I should delete the one of these New Zealands and put up the euro pound on here. Give me the here's the euro pound touching the top of a channel somewhere, breaking through it right now, hitting that target. So that thing really took off to the races there. Could have got in that pullback down in here. Would have been a great entry. Yeah, that thing's off to the races. don't bet the ranch on this, but usually Wednesday is a reversal day. If you look on the chart here, and you can see Wednesday real easy on here, because I hate counting back the days. But look at this trap entry right on a Wednesday. Even the buy stop people got in here. This could be the trap right now. This could be the high of the week. So if you go through all the currency pairs and look at Wednesday. If I can zoom out here enough to capture the other Wednesdays. Here it doesn't work. Here's a trap on a Wednesday. Here's a reversal Wednesday. So you can identify that you trap traded there. Not to say that you would hold that short all the way through, but here's a top become a bottom. But you should just be able to see that. Here's the only entry there to get long again. And here's a reversal Wednesday. Reverses back into that. This is not a reversal Wednesday, although they went down new lows, scalped into that, but it seems like that's a big deal Wednesday. There's a Tuesday wick Wednesday here, and so you can never have these rules that you say, oh, there was a guy that had the London breakout strategy, but these people tell you like it's, oh, this is just use this every time. I just don't think anything's like that. Just because she's a blonde doesn't mean she's dumb. I got some news coming here in about 10 minutes, 9 minutes. I guess we had news here a little bit that kind of pushed everything around. I saw a lot of activity right at the top of the hour, though. Typically that's even when, just... So the only heavy news is here at 4:30 out of, this should be pretty crazy for the pound since they're in new territory, so 4:30. Pre-news scalp trade here, so I think I'm getting out of something here just automatically. I haven't pressed the key, but I guess this is the Goldilocks scenario if you write a script that fulfills a certain scenario. So here I just got in on all this and I probably cashed out of something. I don't see my so I can tell here which order I placed if I keep track of each single trade plan, and I can name it. So here's where you can build your playbook. There's a trader out there that has a approach where you have a playbook. A lot of the people on the trading floor had a certain trade they would do, and they knew it lasted a certain amount of time. The scalps, usually scalping down there, unless you're trying to fill some big institution, you're just scalping down there, and it's kind of a real. It's funny how it is down there. Real intimidation game. Whereas here it's very clinical. I mean, you could be trading, nobody knows who you are, but you just, it's different. People that trade on the floor, they try to trade off floor, and they're like, well, where's the, I'm listening for the volume of the people start yelling at each other. Here it's just, I say, when you see your balance fluctuating, I'd say that to me that's just volume. Plus you're just going to see it now. News is coming up here in 7 minutes, so come back, watch the news. Well, I really would like to buy more at the market right now because I see I'm under leveraged, I'm not in big enough for this high probability kind of engulfing day that's possible right now in the British pound. And if it only makes it back up to here where this was supposed to hold, and then we went into this coil. So the trend line break on here, you really have to, now this is a lot of pips, this is a 50 pip grid, so you'd have to drill your orders to just trade big enough to make it with your, so if you're waiting for this trend line break, then you're not in yet. And if you put in a channel here, you had not the most profitable scalp bouncing off that, and here you're failing to hit the channel. So when you see a failure hit channel, You don't have to break out MACD or RSI because it's running out of momentum. There's divergence there. And this is what divergence looks like in trend lines. So you don't have to get out the oscillator at the bottom of the screen because obviously there's no fucking way this is meeting the same. So you're just duplicating, there's so much similarity between stochastics and RSI, and they're all slicing it a little differently. But to me, I'm losing real estate on the screen. Like, it's really a vertical situation. So if I could, I don't have too many pairs on here, but if I go vertical, it's really about like this. You're just really getting in. So if this tanks here, dollar Swiss, since I'm not in enough margin, I'm going to buy this for the scalp on plunge. It's not going to let me. Okay, I hit the wrong button. So this is a big plunge order for because if the euro is going to go up, looks like it's itching to pop here. It's got that look to it. So here's the euro entry, buying new lows down here. Just a crop of limits that start down here. So it's still on this one limit. Now this was a trade you wish you were in bigger. So you literally captured it down here. Now I don't know if that's the hand place one. So I could track that down inside my list. If I go by symbol now, I could go hunt that down. There's only 2 in here. So it's a retrace. See, I'm up 50 pips on a buy retrace 1 hour. Now I don't think that's 1 hour. I maybe set that at 5 hours or something. But all the drop orders, some say drops, some don't. So here's the drops. So if you go by comment, then you can kind of keep track of the inventory of all these orders. It's pretty ridiculous, but I don't see another way to do it. These are buy stops. These are wrong. So I gotta get rid of these. I don't even know. Those could be set for because I'm not trading that currency pair in here, so you have to do a little bit of house cleaning. Yeah, pound Australia. I mean, if you're gonna trade on the limits and swing trade it with a 50 pip stop and a 100 pip stop, then you trade those wild pairs. But if you're just trying to pay the rent, if you're not trying to hit a home run, I mean, you really have to have, if you have a 200 pip stop and you're in a standard lot, I mean, it's quite a swing. It's quite a bit of heat. I guess it just depends how lazy you are. You can never could not get your platform in time. Oh. So that's why I don't trade all these pairs. On this demo, I just kind of went nuts when I started it. Singapore dollar. This stuff's like probably a week long here. Still left over. This is stuff that just doesn't move. So the euro dollar could plunge also. So I have the plunge order. So it depends how much money you've got left in the account, how much margin you got available. So you can't be really discriminating too much on this. If you can see that this would be a good place to get one of these trades going. Now the ratios on this are great. That's a decent script, but you just change one element in here and you've changed everything. So I'm trying not to take all profits unless I'm winning really big, and then I would take all profits. Otherwise, I'm going to see if my stop management is good to go, so that if something goes terribly wrong, that if I don't press any more buttons for the next 8 hours, I will not blow anything up. This I would sell if it went up higher. I have like nothing. I didn't even get to, so I was expecting to see this big smash up on the yen, and look at this, how you just went up like 1 pip to that 50-yard line and just backed off. Now definitely I put this on the buy list for super deep. This is lasts a long time. This is getting in 50, 75, and 100 pips deep. So you can have a grid on here, or you can have orders as your grid. So if I turned off the other grid and used my orders as a grid, you could also write a script that you knew hard-coded it was going to be so deep. And you'd be like, yeah, but I can see I'm 100 pips away. So if I wait another 4 hours and hit the same order that lasts for 12 hours, I'm going to have an overlapping grid trolling system. So this is a minefield that disappears. So when the enemy's coming, it's the war room. When the enemy's coming, you're laying these mines now, or you're not allowed to shoot deer with a bear trap. So, but I'm trapping. It's all trap trades for the retracement. But the breakout thing, that's really like being trading at the market. You have to be there. I don't think you can put unless you have a robot do it for you. There's nobody that's going to put a tight stop on a 1 hour chart for you other than yourself. And those opportunities, of course, in Asian session, there's going to be the fake out chop out there, but most of the day is starting here, and this is Wednesday, and in some of these weeks you'll see a doji at the end of the week and just realize that you literally could have bought at the beginning of the week, held it to the end of the week and not made any money, or bailed on Wednesday or Tuesday, or whenever you see that void filled. I'd say for a lot of part we got to go sideways. Typically after a big move there's going to be a triangle or a flag or something like that, and so the trick is to have the patience to wait for the flag session to be over. But in the meantime, I don't think that you should do nothing. I think you should be just placing orders. So I don't think it's pays good money to wait for, it's like waiting by the phone for a client to call you. It's ridiculous. If they call you, they call you. So if the market goes in that order bank, it goes in that order bank. You can't really sit here and try to micromanage it, as they say. That's the old classic. Don't micromanage them. Like, okay, so I'm just going to paint it with a broad brush. Well, don't do that either. So there's always the everything has a caveat, and so the trading thing, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, now I don't have it here. I could hand place the orders since I deleted some, but it would go something like this. If you wanted to scalp this today, I would say put the get this going here. View the navigator and just go to your order list. So here right now I'm just running a 15 pip stop that lasts a week, so I just put it down here. So if the news comes out today, and this I'll risk 50 pips to make 100, I'll buy off this down here. So the scalps would be the I'm gonna risk 15 to make 30. So you would pick your exit before your entry, and you would just put a crop down here. Now if you put a 10k in here and just cover this area, you kind of know each time you drop that you're risking $1.50 to make $3. So can you imagine the market come down there and smashing into this and zipping back out? That's as simple as that. Can you imagine this market going crazy up and then slamming back? So the retracement on the north side is like this. I think this is getting every 25 pips for the next. This is key number 4. So take a look inside, see what's going on under the hood here. It really is. It takes a lot of patience to swing trade. I mean, it'll take you 3 days to make money, but you're going to make 200 pips with a 50 pip stop, right? And that's for most people that don't want to sit there and fucking scalp a goddamn 1 hour chart. But you can, not that you can't make even more money or the same amount of money. Like I would say, maybe half as much money. I don't see why these people want to scalp so big, but I guess the idea is that it's not worth my time, and I guess this is where the people say you should be humble. I think you should be humble in the size you trade, not humble about, well, I don't know, I mean, I'm just not, I want to, because the market's just, like when this news comes out, Okay, so we're getting retracements now, and as we roll over from the next one session to the next, you're going to get this big wiki stuff going on. So if I go flat on my margin, if I wait for this thing to play out till I get back to I was down about $2,000 on 10,000. So far, I've only taken profits once this week because I was like, I was in $300 a margin. I really didn't want to be in that big yet because I was waiting for that Goldilocks. I was waiting for the porridge or whatever it was. It's just the right. It's keep on redoing it till it's right. I know we grew up on this perfectionistic. Well, I guess that's how we got where we're at, right? Somebody gave us shit at one point, but now people just don't seem to fucking give a fuck. I don't know. But so we're waiting for the top of the hour here. News. So that news wasn't too big. Whatever just happened, that doesn't seem to make me any money. Here's the dollar against the yen, 15-minute inside. This is the daily box. I see support. So here I'm going to throw in this is really good ratios on this red order. Now that if this drops 25 pips in the next half hour, I could hit the same key. But I guess that's the problem, is that when the market starts to do that, unless you know what that is you're throwing out there, it's like trying to catch one of these card chases. I watched card chases all day long on like people running from the police, and they try to throw out these spike strips, and sometimes the guy just like totally gets out of the way. So these things decay after a certain amount of time, and then. But yeah, if I could get the account back to where I opened it. And I guess I'd have to say I'm somewhat paying attention, although it's not real money. I also have no clue as whether or not I could blow it up if I put too many orders in. But you just can't care about that stuff, seriously. The people just put too much into the caring on this trade stuff. So we're about to get a possible engulf started here, so this one could be cashing out too pretty soon. I got in terrible prices here. So being underwater for a swing trader would be no big deal here. If you look at this chart, you're like, yeah, I'd buy down here. Right? You're like, yeah, okay, it's going up. Sure, you're getting this sale price this session here. They trap these guys. Now, we pause there. The goal is to be long before this channel break, this trend line break. We're along on something. We could scalp out of that, and when the United States stock market opens in 3.5 hours, 4.5 hours here, we could be smashing down lower. So you would reload the gun, let this thing play out. And I'm also, since I'm kind of forced to trade on limits only with this account, I would just be buying the dollar Swiss for its retracement. So everything's on retracement style on this thing. So here's retracements, because see, but on this currency pair, since it doesn't move that much, that is insanely deep order. There's a 3K laid in there, so many pips apart. That's starts at 50, 75, 100 pips, and I think I'm using a 20 stop to make 40. They're all like double your money or something. But of course, we'd have to wait for the whole week for that to play out, and some people aren't ready for that. But yeah, see all the money that nobody can access. I used to watch this shit on my cell phone and think, God, if I was in front of my computer right now, man. I mean, just the wick alone here is a trade. If you had a script that sold up here and some ridiculous, like that'll never happen, thing. So it's buying this whole area all the way down, and it's got a swing stop on it, so it means it's got a 50 pip stop. So if you're buying for 50 pips with 50 pip stop, you're going to be underwater. You have to make at least 150 pips on this to make it worth your while. So this goes up 50, 100, almost 120 on that first ticket. This one maybe got out here, and this one got out here, and this one got out here. And this is in a perfect world where each of these is 5 standard lots, and you're pretty much done for the week. So how much money he makes, it's not going to make you any. It's not going to change anything. You're probably going to still drink the same shitty coffee. Here's your top. Everybody's waiting for this. Ever comes back here. So this looks like a good plunge trade today. So we can get filled later on maybe. See, I only waited a little bit of time. So if I wait for another hour and drop the exact same order, so I'm just gonna overload this for now, just for you see where it's coming in. And then if you waited till this dropped to this first order and you start to get filled, then you put the same order in, and then what you have in essence is, well, they say when you're building a system you never want to change too many elements at once, because you start to end up with you can't tell what your secret sauce that you made, why it tastes so good. I wasn't even paying attention to the ingredients. So this order bank's here, and then you have another one that overlaps here, and so you start to get filled on that. Say the next bank looks like this, and you've got your little your script orders are here. These are 1Ks inside this box, and there's a stop here, and there's a stop here for this one. So when the market comes down there, of course you'll never be in really super big on a really good trade, because psychologically every time you get into a good trade you're like, damn, I wish I was in more. Like, I wish I could this girl, I wish I could clone her. Can I just get a backup and just have just in case something goes wrong with this one? And this is the idea, and this also cures the feeling of missing out. So if your next box comes in here and these orders are laid in at different, maybe these last all week. If these last all week, then everything changes. But it's just about the stupidity of that the market goes down and then it goes up. So for a lot of people, this is the trade, and for the big swing traders, this is the trade. They want to buy this vault and hold through here for the scalp. And look at this double tag at the 50 and then whoosh. So the cheaper way to go is with the 25 pip stop to make 50, because you're more likely to make that money. And then the bulls are looking for this trend line to break. But in the meantime, maybe your sell bot got in here on the inside bars on the 1 hour. You can't see it here because this is the daily things. But that's a lot to think about. Like that guy said in the video, it's a lot to think about. But I just don't think it's worth spending too much time. Now here is the moment of truth. Top of the hour news is coming out, and we could get this could rip through the high of the day right now, and this is a huge trap for the trend traders. I saw some guy publish, so people say it's like fading the signals, that all the people would say, hey, this looks like time to sell some more pound. I'm like, okay, listen, if people are saying stuff like that, and not to say that you can fade everybody and make money, but when people are all agree, oh yeah, it's very bearish, really. So, but for the scalper, they would just laugh at that because it didn't matter. They were just trying to make 25 pips. They're like, dude, I could care who's getting raped. I'm just here to take pictures, Um, and really, that's kind of the another sociopathic aspect of trading. And they do. The bankers do. They do hire sociopaths. Obviously, come on. These people are jumping off buildings. It's funny when in the news they. I mean, this is 2 or 3 years ago. People are like, these bankers are jumping off buildings. It's crazy. It's conspiracy. Well, yeah, because they're fucking sociopathic. My God, they're traders. So this is why trading is such a dirty word. I don't even tell people. Like if I told someone I was a trader, they like, you mean like you gave away secrets to the country? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm a trader. So even the word you're fucked on because it's very close to something that's supposed to be a felony or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty funny how it's true. And then you think about it, and then here it is, 4 o'clock in the morning. I feel like I'm, you know, it's like it's like a financial meth lab in a way because people just don't even. They're like, and then they just have the image of it that they've seen from the movies and stuff. But it is cute how that whole thing's rigged. I mean, not rigged. The way people portray something in the most cliche. Like if you ever watch an old biker movie from the 60s and 70s, man, these people they're raping women like all day long. And the photography, I mean, I'm telling you, it's borderline. They're showing the expressions on people's faces. I'm like, whoa, I mean, this is 19. I can't believe they published these movies, but Dennis Hopper, just nuts, It just and the titles of the movies and just the music doesn't even go with the scene. People getting raped and they have a guy playing acoustic guitar. It's just you see what the soundtrack's made out of. So here's the envelope window. So if you're really eager to trade, you would say, I'm gonna buy. Is it? I want to get in before it breaks this double. There's no end to how you could draw lines on here. But I just look at this like, hey, they just trapped these pairs down here pretty bad. The breakout things, and the scalpers are gonna bail probably right here. Well, they use this out. Didn't seem to drive it too much. I guess the big. We got about 30 seconds left to the end of the 5-minute window. So that 5-minute before and after. So the 5-minute traders are all over this thing now. So here's your top bottom on the 5-minute. Pretty subtle. I mean, you'd have to be here for this. So if you have your buy limit sitting right on this top, so you get a doji here, you get a top become a bottom, and your first chance to draw a trend line, and that's about the scalper's 50 pip scalp there, because with a 25 stop, because and this would be your shoulder, head, shoulder, and it's over. People are going to bail here. They're going to rip it back. Now you're going to come with buy limits here again, and maybe it's going to go lower today. So that's just how it is. I mean, it is so insane because you would think, at least when you see a market move in one direction, like, well, it's just going to keep going. But it's the most twisted path. So now you could also have just trade the Swiss against the Euro. Have two currencies and have only buy limits, and trade the just trade like a hedge against each other with the same script. Test. Well, I've tried a lot of variations of this, trying to. In other words, if you have a machine gun. It jams and stuff. A machine gun sounds like a good idea, and that's like what an EA is. It's like, hey, man, I know where the enemy's at. Give me a gun, and just let that thing just high frequency gun, right? But it jams, and so there's overheats, and there's all that stuff. So you get a great idea to swing trade, and next thing you know, the market just keeps going against you. So that's tough because, you know, it's if there's not enough money in the account, that's tough. But if you survive the swing, then I would say that is probably the most money you'd ever make, is swing trading. But that's really reversal trading, and it's really about being buying at the edge of the market. And when the hammer's over, if you just traded one day and the market plunged down and came back and closed unchanged, well, tons of money right there. Tons of money, actually. It happens a lot, that trade. And then the other trade is that the market's dead in the water, and just, hey, looks like it's going to keep going another way. So it's like the flag entry. But here is the trap on the British pound 5 minutes. So all the people that were, the scalpers are out by now. They've sold. They're getting out right here. Now, can they completely push this through and engulf it? Now, unfortunately, I'm getting out too early. I can see my margin going away. Let's we can't wait to see this take out the high of the day, engulf all the way back into maybe the floor from 2 days ago, right here when we took out this floor. And if that happens, hopefully I'm out of a lot of stuff, but then I'll immediately come back in with this order here. In fact, when you can see this coming, you're like, oh, they're going to do that, huh? I mean, they're going to do that. The mob. This is just a mob of people. You're watching a crowd. It's like a riot. You're watching a riot or a panty raid, and you're just like, well, when's it over? I'm going to step in. It's time safe to cross the street. So if I think I see this riot coming to an end, at this point I put in these buy limits, thinking I'm not leveraged enough. I'm going to go in super deep. Now this is for later on today, in case we go ripping down. But see, we're testing. We're up against this trend line too. So sellers are coming in. They're getting their perfect setup. The bears are right now, because you're in the envelope. You have a bottom become a top. And so if you hold through the failure of the bear signal, you're a bull, and you're holding on through the failure of their signal. If they think this is the floor, and this is their downtrend channel, and they want to keep on adding to the position for another ride down, this is what they're thinking right now. But the problem is, if we cut through here and then find support on that line, forget it. Not to mention the bigger picture. So the early birds, well, they say the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. So the second mouse would be your limit orders sitting deep. The early birds scalped this part here. They got in on this new low plunge with all their buy limits, and they cashed out to here and to here. So even if they got in underwater, and this, it seemed like they were underwater, by the time we got to here, and then I could dump right now in what I'm in, but I'm probably getting, looks like I just got filled on something. Let's just see, my margin went up. It's probably dollar Swiss or something. So here I'm going to buy in this big plunge order here. And since I really wanted to kind of make an impressive amount of money this week and get into about $1,000 of margin, but I never did it. Only 300, so this is really not getting, this doesn't really have the performance. It's not, but I'm not going to sit here and rewrite new keys right now, so I'm just going to run these scripts. Here's a dollar CAD. which you got to trade really wide on. And right now you got an inside day forming. But this could take a ride up. I do think in the end we're going to fill this. So we've been working our way, crawling out of this hole here. And this thing's itching to keep going up. So that's it, man. I don't know. This guy's backing off of the monster highs. There's a trap. So they're trapping the euro and they're trapping the pound, people. So the pound's coming up on the envelope, and I guess we're gonna come back here, and on 15 minutes the news is going to come out on this thing. It should be hopefully have taken out the high of the day by the time the news comes. So he's complete short squeeze coming into the bear. The bears are going to. All right, news in 1 minute, and I'm going to hold on to this through the news. I hope it's going to cash out. I hope I pop through the high of the day here. So we're right up against the bears. Perfect sell entry if you think the bears are drawing a trend line here on the 5 minutes. Hey, this looks like a key area. As zoomed out as I can get there. So here comes the news, and spread should get wide and ugly. But I think we could go shearing maybe through the high of yesterday's high in 15 seconds. So we can see the balance change here. I'm not in big enough naturally, but there you go. It's big spread. Terrible spread. I'm down $60 just on the spread there. See how the spread got so wide there that that's what kicks a lot of people out through the news, holding through the news here, but I'm not in big enough. I want to be in bigger to really ride this thing. So it's down $26 before the news, and as soon as that news came out, bam, down 63 bucks. Now anything could happen here next 5 minutes. 5-minute traders are going to jump on the train. Because you can't see it here, but when this came down, the ask went way up. So people that had buy stops in got filled. They're trapped. So now you're down 60. Again, spread just tightened up. But think about the guy that had a buy stop here just before the news. So just watch this. Jason Greystone says he's going to show you how to simple technique to get in the market. Unfortunately, it was a criteria. So he claims he's going to do the order type next. And so how you get in this thing is such a big deal. Now, the guy that got filled on his buy stop and took a, I was probably spread went to about, and this broker probably went to about 15 to 10 pips there for a second. So he took that heat. So your scalp guys got clobbered if you're scalping that news. Now you have to wait for some follow through here. So if this pulls back on that 5 minute and you get the top bottom, you get this little itty bitty channel going here. Double top becomes a bottom. Now we got to sneak over the borderline, get it, break out the high of the day, and start hunting down them bear stops, and that'll be how the day rolls. So you're itching to break this trend line, but the trick is to get in before the break of the trend line and get out of something along the way. Okay, so I'm down 28 bucks again. So it's like it never happened. 2 minutes left here to get some type of. We're definitely gonna see the market move by the top of the hour. There's more news coming out. We've got news in about 40 seconds coming out in the euro dollar here. It looks like they're banging up against this 50-yard line, looking for this baby to pop north pretty hard here. So that'd be the. I don't think I'm in that trade actually, but that would go up, and here is the British pound banging on this. This setup's failing for the bears now. High probability that the dollar is going to get crushed now. Dollar's had it for the time to swing the other way. They run to the other side of the ship. Ken News is out. Still down 40 bucks. This should be the one that pays off the British pound. Take profits, go all the way back. Go with 15-minute chart. Trying to sneak out, take out the high of the day there. So we're finally getting some movement here. The dollar yen is going after the high of the day. The euro dollar is going after the high of the day, and the British pound broke this trend line here. The failure for the perfect setup for the bears for a trend continuation down. So they're breaking through that right now, and this bottom top bearish trend continuation is failing right now, going after the highs of the day here. So there's a little bit of news. There's no news now, but I guess we're waiting for 8:15, so 2 hours. Should get a lot of movement here. I'm selling everything as this dollar yen goes up, so hopefully I'll get my $500 to $1,000 of leverage going here for the pullback. And I'm long the pound, looking for targets. And then I put some more buy limits below here for a retest entry. And I got my my retracement buy here. I think the dollar is going to plunge, although it's going to go up against euro here. And put sells on the CAD. Looks like this looks like a good setup right now for the New Zealand to go up. Go after the high of the day. So hanging in there, up $127 from this morning, and not really enough leverage to really make it worth to get this account above the 10 grand mark today, but we'll see where we're at 8 o'clock.